Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum. Alaikum salam.
Where does Kevin Lee fit into all of this? If you're an MMA freak, you know that very famous question from Uncle Chael, and it is about Kevin, the Motown phenom Lee. We heard reports that he's officially back in the UFC. Now, I believe that he's not back in a normal way, but in a very special way. But before we get to that, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I would highly appreciate that. Click the button below. Also click the button below that for the like this video. Thank you very much in advance, guys. And now let's go. Kevin Lee, Motown phenom. You might know him. He's the guy that is famous for being able to win against the best fighters in the world and the next day lose against an average fighter. Many people thought he will be UFC champion back in the day when he had his run in the UFC, until he then got stopped by Tony Ferguson and then went on a 4-fight losing streak, I think. Oh no, he lost 4 out of his last 5. That was also the reason why he got cut from the UFC then in the year 2020, if I'm right. He's still just 30 years old, so he's still young, kind of. And he then went to Eagle FC. Eagle FC, I will do a video about that as well, about the whole organization, what's going on, so stay tuned. There he fought one fight against Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, who is not an opponent who's like, oh my god. So everybody thought, me included, that he will just run through Diego Sanchez. He looked okay in that fight, but he won a normal decision, nothing very dominant or whatever, like just a okay performance from Kevin Lee, nothing special. And normally the UFC does not take you back after a normal performance against a 40 years old Diego Sanchez with 3 brain cells at a new organization that no one before ever heard of. So why is he back? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. And I think I have a pretty good answer to that. Because I don't think they will just take him back, be like, hey, you beat Diego Sanchez, a guy that we released as well. Come back, we need you. We see you have title aspirations. We see you have the talent. No. Kevin Lee on a good day has definitely chances to be a champion. Good day, Kevin Lee is a beast. What I believe will be the plan for the UFC with Kevin Lee is, I don't know if you heard it, guys, but the Ultimate Fighter 31 is coming up, right? With Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler as coaches. So there's a rumor, or a pretty confirmed rumor, that this will be a special season where half of the contestants are newcomers, like they always are in the Ultimate Fighter, and half of the contestants are UFC fighters, or let's say that like that, former UFC fighters who are trying to come back. Not a Forrest Griffin who's like 50 years old or something, of course.
I'm old.
Fighters from the UFC that got cut, can be big names like Kevin Lee, can be normal names that got cut from the UFC, and they want to give them a chance to come back, right? And I think that makes a lot of sense, because Kevin Lee, if he wins this Ultimate Fighter, he has then earned his way to come back, and he's 30 years old, so it makes a lot of sense. That's a perfect setup for Kevin Lee. Makes a whole lot of sense. And it's not yet confirmed the weight classes, but I heard 135 and 170 could be the contestant weight classes. I know Kevin Lee said on the Ara Helwani show that, or somewhere else, that he will not fight at 155 anymore, that he will come back as a welterweight 170. So, in my opinion, that's the secret. That's the reason why the UFC hasn't announced him yet as a comeback fighter. That's the reason why we heard nothing else than he's coming back to the UFC in some sort of way, right? So that's really what I believe. I believe that he will be a contestant in the Ultimate Fighter 31 as a comeback fighter, or whatever they will call them. I really wonder what they will call the season, like comeback or just come up. I don't know, we'll see. What is your opinion, guys? Write in a comment. Do you think Kevin Lee comes back as a normal fighter, gets immediately thrown into the pool, top 15, whatever? Do you believe that? Or do you stick with me and you think, hey, Bloodsport, I think you have a good idea there. The Ultimate Fighter 31 is where Kevin Lee will come back to. And then we can answer the question, where does Kevin Lee fit into all of this? So make sure to like this video, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Would highly appreciate that. And your body will appreciate if you would eat your vegetables, guys. So do that. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Blood spread out.
Eat your vegetables.